Did you know that 90% of passengers leave perks worth hundreds of dollars on the table without even realizing it? I've logged over 200,000 miles across 75-plus flights, and let me tell you, airlines are hiding perks in plain sight. From secret snacks to sneaky upgrade tricks, today I'm breaking the code of silence and revealing 15 completely free things you can ask for mid-flight. No elite status required. Ready to fly smarter and more comfortably than ever before? 1. Unlimited hot water. It was a red-eye from Tokyo to LA, and all I wanted was something warm without loading up on caffeine. So on a whim, I asked the flight attendant, would it be alright to get just some plain hot water? She smiled, nodded, and came back with a full cup, and even offered a second one later. Here's the secret. Airlines will almost always give you unlimited hot water if you ask nicely. Whether you're brewing your own tea, mixing baby formula, or just trying to stay warm and hydrated, hot water is totally free and available throughout the flight. Most passengers don't realize they can simply ask for it, especially between meal services. And the magic phrase is, would it be possible to have some hot water, please? Pro tip, bring your own herbal tea bags or powdered drink mixes. I've seen people add lemon slices or ginger cubes from the airport lounge into their carry-on just for this reason. A cozy DIY drink at 35,000 feet? Absolutely possible. So why is it a secret? Because it's not on any menu, no signs, no announcements. It's something only frequent flyers or seasoned travelers seem to know. But now, you do too. 2. The snack strategy. Somewhere over the Atlantic, on a 6-hour flight with only one meal scheduled, I found myself starving. I hadn't packed anything, and the cart had already passed. In a moment of desperation, I politely asked a flight attendant if there was anything small left to nibble on. To my surprise, she returned with a pack of crackers, a cookie, and even a small bag of pretzels. No charge, no fuss. Here's what I learned. Most flights carry extra snacks beyond the scheduled service, but they're rarely offered unless requested. These include everything from granola bars and chips to fruit slices and cookies, sometimes even yogurt or sandwiches on long-haul flights. The trick is all in the ask. Don't wait until the crew is overwhelmed. Approach them between service rounds or near the galley and say, "Excuse me, I was wondering if there might be any snacks available." Flight attendants appreciate politeness and timing. If supplies allow, they're usually more than happy to accommodate you, especially if you missed the original snack round or if it's a long flight. This perk flies under the radar simply because it's not advertised. Many passengers assume the only food on board is what's presented during the meal, but there's often a secret stash if you know how to unlock it. 3. The hidden drink menu. I was halfway through a red-eye flight when I saw a passenger 2 rows ahead sipping tomato juice with a lemon wedge. I blinked. That definitely wasn't on the drink card earlier. Curious, I asked a flight attendant if that was something I could get too. She smiled and said, "Sure, we've got tomato juice, cranberry, even ginger ale, just not all of them are offered out loud." That's when it hit me. Airlines often carry a much wider variety of drinks than they publicly list. Here's the secret. If you ask directly, you can get surprising options like club soda, apple juice, orange juice, cranberry, or even hot chocolate packets on certain routes. Some international airlines carry cultural specialties too, like mango juice or green tea. Alcoholic options, even more varied. While liquor might not be free, the mixers usually are, and you can ask for the full can if you're not into mini portions. Just say, "Could I have tomato juice?" Or do you have any other juices available besides what's listed? Or if you're feeling bold, do you have hot chocolate or anything warm besides tea and coffee? Most passengers don't ask, and flight attendants rarely list everything. They assume you'll take what's offered, but the full drink lineup is there if you're willing to speak up. 4th, special meals. On a long-haul flight to Dubai, I once got served before the entire cabin, and my tray looked way better than the usual rubbery pasta. It was a hot vegan curry, perfectly spiced and neatly packed. The secret? I had requested a special meal 48 hours before takeoff. What most travelers don't know is that airlines offer a whole menu of special meals, and they're totally free. You don't have to be vegetarian or have dietary restrictions to request one. Options often include low sodium, gluten-free, vegan, halal, kosher, diabetic-friendly, Hindu, or even raw fruit platters. And here's the kicker. Special meals are almost always served first, sometimes with better presentation and less crowding. Just go to your booking page, log into Manage My Trip, and look for the Meal Preferences section. Some airlines cut off special requests 24 to 48 hours before departure, so it pays to check early. Try this phrase when booking. "I'd like to request a special meal. Could you please confirm if a vegan, kosher, low-sodium option is available for my flight?" And here is a pro tip. If you hate the wait for meal service or worry about running out of your preferred option, this is the smartest move you can make. Most people never even glance at the meal settings online, but with one click you get better timing, better food, and better control over your flight experience. 5th, second meal service. I used to think the only food on a flight was what they brought once and never again, until a long flight to Seoul changed everything. I woke up late, missed the main meal, and sheepishly asked a flight attendant if there was anything left. She smiled, disappeared into the galley, and came back with a hot breakfast tray and a snack box. That's when I learned the secret. There's often a second meal service, you just have to ask. Many long-haul and international flights offer more than one food service. The second one is usually lighter, think sandwiches, wraps, fruit, or pastries, but it's still free and often goes unannounced unless you're awake or seated in a premium cabin. Flight attendants typically prioritize those who speak up. The trick is to be polite and curious, not demanding. Try this line. "Hi, I was wondering if there's a second meal or snack service later in the flight?" Pro tip: if you miss the scheduled round, just head toward the galley mid-flight. There's usually a stash of snacks, noodles, and drinks left out quietly for the taking. It's like a secret buffet hidden in plain sight. Most passengers don't realize this because they either sleep through it or assume what they missed is gone forever. But with one friendly ask, you might score yourself an unexpected mid-air meal. 6th, entertainment upgrades. On a 10-hour flight to Tokyo, my seatback screen froze halfway through a movie. When I flagged a flight attendant, I expected a shrug and maybe a reset. Instead, she returned with a tablet loaded with premium movies and games, something I didn't even know was an option. Turns out, airlines often have backup entertainment devices, but they don't advertise it unless you ask. If your in-flight screen isn't working, don't settle for boredom. Kindly let the crew know. "Hi, my screen isn't responding. Are there any entertainment alternatives I could use?" Some airlines keep a limited number of preloaded tablets or laptops available for situations like this. And even if the tech is beyond saving, they might offer bonus snacks, extra drink coupons, or even frequent flyer points as compensation. I once got 2,000 miles credited for a broken headset jack, just because I mentioned it nicely. Pro tip: some airlines also have hidden digital libraries accessible through your phone or tablet via their onboard Wi-Fi. Always check their website or ask, "Is there a mobile entertainment option available for my device?" Many travelers simply suffer in silence or assume nothing can be done. But if you ask respectfully, you'll often find the crew has low-key solutions up their sleeve, and your long flight suddenly feels a lot shorter. 7. Free messaging. Somewhere over the Atlantic, I saw a passenger furiously typing away on their phone mid-flight. At first, I thought they'd hacked the system, but then I learned the truth. Certain airlines actually offer free messaging. You just have to know how to activate it. Many carriers, including Delta, Alaska, JetBlue, and even some international lines, allow you to send texts via Wi-Fi without paying for a full internet package. It usually works through apps like iMessage, WhatsApp, or Facebook Messenger. Here's exactly what to ask the flight attendant or look for in your seatback card. Is there a free messaging option through the onboard Wi-Fi? In most cases, once you connect to the plane's Wi-Fi, you'll see a free messaging plan pop up on the portal. It's limited to text, no videos, images, or GIFs, but honestly, it's a game changer when you want to update loved ones or settle last-minute logistics on the ground. Pro tip: enable airplane mode and turn off background app refresh to conserve battery and avoid Wi-Fi glitches. And if messaging isn't listed, ask anyway. Some airlines won't advertise it but will enable it for you manually. So while the rest of the cabin is watching reruns, you could be texting away, completely free. 8. The seat upgrade strategy. Another day on a flight from Seattle to New York, I found myself squeezed into a middle seat between two snorers. Pure misery. But just before takeoff, the guy across the aisle was quietly moved to an empty exit row. More legroom, no extra charge. That's when I learned free seat upgrades are possible, but only if you ask at the right moment. Here's the insider move. Politely approach the gate agent before boarding is complete and say something like, "If there are any unassigned aisle or exit row seats available, I'd be happy to switch once boarding finishes." Many agents actually prefer to fill exit rows or balance the cabin, and if you ask with charm and flexibility, not entitlement, you might score a better seat for free. Another sweet spot? Mid-flight. If you notice empty rows after takeoff, ask a flight attendant, "Would it be okay to move to an open seat after we're in the air?" Pro tip: dress neatly and fly solo if possible. Those are silent signals that make you a better candidate for an upgrade. While others are stuck in their pre-selected misery, you might quietly trade up. No loyalty points required. 9. Fast connection. Cheat code. Somewhere over the Atlantic, I was halfway through drafting an email when the Wi-Fi paywall hit me like turbulence. $20 for a spotty signal? No thanks. But then a flight attendant leaned in and quietly asked, "Do you have status with us?" That's how I discovered one of the most overlooked digital perks in the sky. Many airlines quietly offer free or discounted Wi-Fi, but it's rarely publicized. Even basic loyalty members, just the kind who've signed up for a free account, can sometimes access complimentary browsing sessions, especially on shorter or domestic flights. And here's something even fewer people realize. Some flight attendants carry one-time use Wi-Fi vouchers. They're not announced. They're not listed. You have to ask. Now, when I fly, I politely say, "Hi, I was wondering, do you happen to have any Wi-Fi passes available for loyalty members?" You'd be amazed how often that simple ask gets a nod, a smile, and a discreet code slipped onto your tray table. Also, certain airline apps open limited access, news sites, basic messaging, even Google Docs previews, without requiring full payment. And some premium travel credit cards include Wi-Fi perks too, but only if you access it the right way. Moral of the story? Download the airline app, enroll in their loyalty program, and always ask. The connection you need might already be flying with you. 10. The Comfort Kit. I used to think those cozy little comfort kits were just for first-class flyers, those folks wrapped in blankets with noise-canceling headphones and silk eye masks. But on one overnight flight to Tokyo, my seatmate in economy reached into his backpack and pulled out one of those same kits. I was baffled. Turns out, he'd simply asked for it, and they gave it to him. No seat upgrade, no secret handshake. Airlines often stock extra amenity kits beyond the premium cabins. They're intended for overnight passengers, but flight attendants are usually happy to offer them to anyone who asks, especially on long-haul routes. The key? Asking before they're handed out up front. Pro tip: some airlines also carry small comfort extras even on short flights, like blankets, extra pillows, or sleep masks if the load is light. The real secret: most people don't ask because they assume these things are off limits. But if you know when and how to ask, economy comfort suddenly feels a lot more like business class. 11th. Kid-friendly freebies. It was during a long-haul flight from Frankfurt to Toronto that I first discovered this one. The toddler in the row ahead of me was mid-meltdown, clearly overstimulated, overtired, and done with being airborne. But then a flight attendant crouched down, handed over a bright activity pack, and within minutes, silence. Turns out, airlines often come prepared with small toys, coloring books, and games to keep little passengers, and their exhausted parents, sane. These kid-friendly freebies aren't always advertised, but they're stocked on most medium and long-haul flights. Airlines know that a quiet, happy child makes the cabin more comfortable for everyone. So, they often provide age-appropriate entertainment kits. Think crayons, puzzles, card games, and sometimes even plush toys or stickers. Bonus tip: some airlines will even give kids their own logbook to track flights, complete with captain signatures or stickers from different destinations. Many parents are surprised to learn about these perks, mainly because they don't show up in booking emails or seatback menus. But if you ask, it's one less thing to pack, and one more win for travel sanity. 12th. The medical kit. On a long flight from Bangkok to Sydney, I once developed a splitting headache mid-air. Of course, I hadn't packed any painkillers. Out of options, I finally asked a flight attendant if they had anything on board. To my surprise, she returned with a sealed packet from the plane's medical kit: ibuprofen, a few bandages, even antiseptic wipes. That's when I realized commercial flights quietly carry more than just peanuts and pillows. Most aircraft are required to stock a basic medical kit, often including items like motion sickness tablets, allergy relief, pain relievers, band-aids, antiseptic, and even gloves or instant ice packs. While flight attendants aren't allowed to hand out prescription-level meds, they can and do offer over-the-counter options when asked. To access it, you don't need to create drama or pretend it's an emergency. Simply ask, "Hi, I'm not feeling great. Do you have anything in the medical kit for headaches or nausea or motion sickness?" Flight attendants are trained to assess the situation and will discreetly bring what they can. A surprising number of passengers don't know this exists, either out of politeness or the assumption that only doctors can touch it. But it's there for passenger well-being, and your polite request might be the difference between suffering in silence and actually enjoying the rest of your flight. 13. Extra blankets or pillows. On an overnight flight from Seattle to Reykjavik, I found myself curled up like a pretzel, trying to make a paper-thin blanket double as both warmth and a pillow. I must have looked miserable because a passing flight attendant quietly asked if I'd like an extra one. Turns out, airlines stock more blankets and pillows than they distribute. They often keep spares in overhead bins or tucked into closets near the galley. If you ask politely, especially once everyone's boarded and supplies are accounted for, there's a good chance they'll hand over another one without hesitation. 9 times out of 10, if there are extras, they'll be happy to help, especially on longer flights. Why isn't this widely advertised? Because it's a limited perk. They can't offer spares to everyone, so it quietly goes to those who ask nicely and at the right moment. Since that flight, I always make the ask, and my naps have been 10 times better because of it. 14. Disinfecting wipes. On a flight from JFK to Madrid, I watched a woman calmly wipe down her entire tray table, seatbelt, and touchscreen with surgical precision. At first, I thought she was just extra cautious, but when I asked where she got the wipes, she grinned and whispered, "Just asked for them." Most major airlines carry disinfecting wipes or sanitizing towelettes as part of their standard onboard hygiene stock. While they're typically handed out during international or health-conscious flights, they're often still available on request, even if you didn't snag one at boarding. I've made it a habit now. As soon as I settle into my seat, I politely ask, "Hi, do you happen to have any disinfecting wipes available?" Flight attendants rarely advertise this option unless there's a health protocol in place, but they understand how many passengers prefer a clean surface, especially in today's world. You won't just feel cleaner, you'll actually be safer. Plus, wiping down your tray table has a hidden benefit. It subtly tells the person next to you that you take hygiene seriously. 15th birthday or special occasion treat. On a flight from Atlanta to San Diego, I watched a teenage girl get surprised mid-air with a cupcake, a handwritten note from the crew, and even a quiet birthday sing-along from her RAW. Turns out her parents had casually mentioned it was her birthday when boarding, and the flight attendants ran with it. It was subtle, sweet, and made everyone smile. Airlines don't officially advertise it, but many flight crews go out of their way for special occasions. Birthdays, honeymoons, anniversaries, you name it. It might be a free drink, an extra snack, or just a kind gesture like offering a quieter seat if available. You don't need to make a big deal out of it. Just a friendly mention goes a long way. Just so you know, today's actually my partner's birthday. Not every crew will have the time or treats, but when they do, they often love adding a little magic to the moment. It's one of those under-the-radar airline secrets. Proof that kindness in the sky doesn't go unnoticed. So there you have it. 15 free things most travelers never realize they can ask for. Straight from my own in-flight experiences and the tips flight attendants rarely say out loud. From comfort hacks to upgrade snacks, these little perks can completely change the way you fly. Share your favorite travel freebie in the comments if you ever scored something unexpected just by asking. I'd love to hear your story. If this helped you feel a little more like an insider, give it a like, hit subscribe, and share it with a friend who still thinks peanuts are the best thing airlines offer. Thanks so much for watching. Safe travel!